And now we have Mansour Schulman here in the studio. He's a Palestinian-Canadian citizen journalist, and he joins me here on the set. Really good to have you here on the program. You were living in Gaza when October the 7th happened. It was you, your wife, your kids. What do you remember of that day?
We woke up on the early morning on October the 7th with the sounds of thousands of rockets being fired. We didn't know what was happening. I think it was the same feeling that everyone else in Gaza had at that time. And later that day, we understood that there was a big incursion that was happening inside the Israeli territories. And we realized that this is going to be something big. A war is coming, and we need to prepare for it. But now, over 9 months later, no one would have expected for us to reach the tolls that we're seeing right now in terms of those who were displaced, killed, and wounded. And the whole world is watching. And yes, there are free people there talking about Palestine and Gaza, but still we need more momentum. I think that the peace negotiation talks that are happening in Doha today, what I'm hearing is that people are optimistic about its outcomes. However, what's happening today in Gaza City is extremely deplorable. Right now, all of Gaza City is asked to evacuate, leaving them in famine, hunger, without any clothes, shelter, water or food. We're talking about over 500,000 people asking to be displaced. And the message I'm hearing from the people on the ground there is that we are not leaving Gaza City. We are not leaving the north. We're not going to listen to this occupation that has keeping moving people up north, south, east, and west. And at the end, there is no place safe in Gaza. So they are remaining there, steadfast and resilient, until God wishes the outcome for them.
Well, Israel says this is a dangerous combat zone. They don't think it's better to leave Gaza City and try to find a safe place somewhere else?
There is no safe place in Gaza. Gaza everywhere is dangerous. Anywhere can be bombed or overrun by land invasion at any moment. So the people inside Gaza are very politically aware that these are negotiation tactics by the Israelis in order to put more pressure on the Palestinian leadership to give in to more demands by the Israelis. So they are aware of that, and hence they are staying put. And right now we are hearing that a lot of the Israeli land invasion forces are getting themselves out of Gaza from Shuja'iyya and other areas. And many places that they declared unsafe and declared that they are war zones, until now, no land invasion has happened in these areas. So people are remaining where they are because there is no place else to stay safe, and because they want to send a message to the Israeli forces that we are not leaving, we are staying steadfast on our land.
Over the last 4 days, the Israelis have attacked 4 different schools across Gaza. We've seen children killed, horrific injuries. When you see those kind of images from your homeland where you were living for so long, what do you feel?
In the beginning, it was very emotional. It was very difficult to hold your eyes and your tears. But unfortunately now, the world has gotten used to this. And right now, it's all about acting. I understand that this is happening there right now, but we all need to act, given whatever we are capable of, to stop this. For me personally, when I decided to leave Gaza in March after I lost everything, I decided that we need to continue the charity work on the ground and expand on it. We need to amplify the Palestinian voices on the ground by appearing on international TV news stations and appearing on different social media platforms, in addition to ensuring that Gaza stays on the headline wherever we go. And not only that, but we also need to advance how we talk to the Western audience as Palestinians. We are good when we talk to the Arab audience or the Palestinian audience, but what about those that do not speak the Arabic language or do not understand the Palestinian culture? We need to ensure that we get the message across to them in a way that they understand, so that it can affect how they later on vote and elect their leaders, which will at the end affect the relations in the Middle East and the Palestinian cause moving forward.
This message that you're talking about, what is that?
Number one is that Palestinians are very strong mentally in terms of faith, and they will not back down. They will not suffer defeat. It's been over 8 months, and the willingness to stay strong and stay relentless on their land is not changing. It's actually getting stronger. And people who were before not part of the resistance are now voicing that they are now considering to join the resistance because they've seen their fathers murdered, their mothers murdered, their children's murdered. So the people are now even more on the resistance side versus before. And until now, as I said, Palestinians are strong and they have won the hearts and the value war against the Israelis. Look at how Palestinians are treating the Israeli prisoners versus at how the Israelis are treating the Palestinian prisoners. This is one small example of how war is affecting the Palestinians on the ground and how we are showcasing our values to the world. What we are asking for as Palestinians is free Palestine, we need Jerusalem back, and we need the prisoners, the thousands of prisoners who are under administrative detention or have been imprisoned politically for the last 20 plus years to be released as soon as possible. These are our messages to the outside world. Freedom, similar to what happened in South Africa over 30 years ago.
When you hear these kind of statements from certain Israeli politicians about making sure that Palestinians leave Gaza, that it becomes an Israeli land again, what does that make you feel?
I think it's a joke. The Israeli forces and their security agencies know Gaza and know their mentality. They know that the people of Gaza are very strong-minded and they stick to their land and they will never leave it. And they will fight for it till their death, if need be. I think it's just more of a psychological and mental warfare to put more pressure on the Palestinian negotiator in Doha and in Egypt and in Turkey and in other places in order to give in towards more demands as we head towards a permanent ceasefire, hopefully.
Mansour Shoman, a Palestinian-Canadian citizen journalist who used to live in Gaza together with your family and then was forced to leave in the end. You had your family leaving and then you stayed on and you took all those really important videos and important pictures that you shared with the world. I just want to have a final question to you. Do you want to go back?
I wish I was still there, to be honest. But then I'm reminded that each one of us need to play a role in this, and that this struggle is bigger than being physically in Gaza. Being outside of Gaza, I can still play a role in this. However, my heart is still there, and I still wish I was there with my people.
Mansour, thank you so much for joining us here in the studio.
Thank you.